Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another movie and makeup Monday. So today, if you could not tell by the title, I'm going to be doing a kind of horror film. This is a film that I have been obsessed with for so many years, and you know the list that I've done on my channel, if you've seen any of them, this is a reoccurring film. Why I wanted to do this film today, because I don't know, it's just been on kind of like the back of my mind recently. To be honest, it always is, because it's such a great film. And I just really wanted to talk about another different genre, because previously, if you haven't checked out any of my previous videos, I did Apocalypse Now, which is an action film, essentially like a war action film, if you really call it that. Then I did Spinal Tap, which is a comedy movie, and the last one I did last Monday was Watchmen, so that's kind of like a superhero action as well. And I thought today I would talk about one of my favourite horror films. So in case you probably read the title already, but I'm going to be talking about Bram Stoker's Dracula. So I am also wearing my t-shirt that I got from T Fury, one of my favourite t-shirts ever. I can't remember what the name of the painting is, I apologise, but obviously it's like a reminiscent of the painting. I also had my poster, what I wanted to display in the bag, but because it's really big, because I put it in a frame, I don't know where to put it. And you can still see behind me, I'm still trying to move into our new place, so I wanted to try a different location today to see how it works. So let's get into the makeup. As always, the makeup is always going to be kind of like secondary to what I'm talking about. Everything that I talk about, if I get anything wrong, I apologize. This is still like early stages for me. I'm talking more from the heart, for my love for these movies. So yeah, let's get into Bram Stoker's Dracula. So originally, the book Dracula is written by Bram Stoker. Who would have thought it? And yeah, so this movie adaptation was directed by Francis Ford Coppola. So he is someone who I feature a lot on my movie lists and like my kind of film loves in general, because he is pretty much one of my favourite directors ever. Like I mentioned, the first movie I spoke about in my Makeup Movie Monday was Apocalypse Now, which is obviously a movie he directed as well, but he directed that way before this. So this version came out in 1992. There's been hundreds and hundreds of adaptations of Dracula. There's the original one, which had, when you loosely look at it, there's, Nosferatu, which is not what they call Dracula, essentially like Count Orlok, but his, the adaptation of Nosferatu is obviously from Dracula, but they just named him, I think it might have been for like the rights or something possibly, but in this, they called Dracula Nosferatu. But yeah, then you had, that was the Bela Lugosi one, which is everyone's kind of like reminiscence of blah blah blah, the whole Hotel Transylvania piss take really. And then you had all like the Hammer horror movies, which is like by Christopher Lee, starring as Dracula. And then, like I said, there's so many adaptations that have kind of come through, but for me this one is just so special. I mean, I don't know how it's special, but I mean, I grew up watching it and it was just a big staple for me. So the cast, you have my love, Gary Oldman as Dracula. You have Keanu Reeves, who everyone is like obsessed now because of like the John Wick movies. Like Keanu Reeves, I feel, has always been a really interesting actor, and especially in this movie, a lot of people obviously are not that overhyped on him because of his like English accent, which in all honesty is pretty terrible. But for an American actor to try and put on an English accent, and someone with his kind of acting caliber, I'm not saying he's a shit actor, I'm just saying his talents aren't as advanced. And then you have Winona Ryder, who plays Mina Harker. I think she's good in it. I mean, I really love her in like Edward Scissorhands and Heathers and everything. But I feel like, as again, English accents, not exactly like the only person who is English, one of the only people who's English, Gary Oldman, doesn't have an English accent, which I find really funny. I mean, his kind of Dracula accent isn't as over the top as, you know, the whole Bela Lugosi one, you would say. To be honest, he has like his own kind of take on it. Then you have Anthony Hopkins, who plays Van Helsing. Amazing, obviously, like Silence of the Lambs is one of the greatest movies ever made, and Anthony Hopkins as an actor is just fantastic. You've got Sadie Frost as Lucy, and you know, if you've seen this movie or know anything about this movie, you would know the iconic kind of silver dress, her kind of burial gown that she wears, which is one of the most stunning dresses in existence. Like, it's a dress that I would happily wear on my wedding day, basically. But yeah, the whole concept of this film, it's, you know, it's still very like strongly based on the book. So you have Dracula, who is essentially like a war hero, you would call it that, like a kind of admiral, and he's gone out to war. I know it's against like the Turkish army. My history is not very good, so apologies on that. And his wife, Elizabetha, however they say it, like in the film, whatever, is obviously waiting for his return, and they, you know, I'm just kind of like going along with the film. The kind of enemy send a letter saying that he's dead and everything, and then obviously she believes it, and then she like kills herself. And when Dracula kind of comes back and finds her dead, he was just like, she's dead and you can't bring her back because she killed herself. I renown God and I'm opposing God and everything. And then he just becomes like kind of the undead, and then it goes into essentially, I believe it's like the 1800s. I'm really bad at doesn't even say, I can't remember what decade year it is. And then, you know, you have Jonathan Harker, who works in like estate agent kind of work, and he's asked to go to Transylvania to kind of sign off on like this really big deal with a guy named Dracula. Sounds pretty good, you know, not, you know, a foreign country, you don't really know much about the country, and you're just used to the whole kind of like, well, Jonathan Harker's not really supposed to be like a rich boy, he's kind of like a poor guy who wants to marry a rich girl and everything. So yeah, he goes to the castle, and you know, Dracula kind of finds a picture of Mina, who is obviously his wife to be, and kind of is like, well, I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna have that. And then yeah, he goes to, it is England, I'm pretty sure it's like England where they're based, where the film is kind of based. And yeah, it's just kind of Dracula turns into like a younger version, and just kind of, what's the word, kind of draws her in. But obviously the whole point of this is like Dracula is a vampire. I should have really mentioned that in case, you know, you didn't know much about the name Dracula. But yeah, Dracula is obviously a vampire, so that means he needs blood to stay alive. On his journey in like to Mina, essentially, he goes on a boat and you can like transform into a werewolf. He transforms into fog. You know, this guy, he can do a lot. And yeah, it's just, what I love about this movie is just the concept of the characters. The book I've read so many times. I remember reading it in school, and we, in our English class, I believe in like secondary school, we listened to the voiceover, like the kind of the reading of the book, which was by Richard E. Grant, who's actually in the film as well as Dr. Jack. That's it. Yeah, sorry, my brain just went slow for a second, as it always does. So yeah, he is actually in the film, and he narrates. He's got a great like speaking voice. But yeah, the whole, just everyone in it as well. And I forgot to mention that Tom Waits is in it. If guys know me, you know he is one of my favourite musicians ever. He is an amazing actor. He plays Renfield, which I think is fantastic because it's such a weird take. If you look at, you know, the Renfields in like the earlier movies, they're all like kind of not slapstick, but they're all kind of, you know, like a little bit of comedy aspect in them, whereas I feel that Tom Waits plays it like so straight and really kind of freaky. Like this movie it's an 18, so you know, it's not like it's, you don't see stuff on screen, you see like crazy shit. Like in this version, Renfield is in the asylum, and when he kind of, Dracula feels like he betrays him by telling Mina to escape, when he's just like hitting him against the like the bars, and his neck just goes right through the bars, which is one of the most like, oh my god, like the cringe kind of noise of just like bones breaking. But yeah, one reason why I wanted to talk about this film, again, like I've said, because I've grown up watching it, just everything, like the music, the costumes, like they won an Oscar with the costumes. I can't remember her name, I'll pronounce her name very well, I apologise. The woman who did the costume design on this film, oh my god, like the whole, like the red gown that he wears, not like this one, but obviously there's a gown that he wears and his armor when he's in war, is seriously just some of the most beautiful costumes ever made. I'm really happy that they won Oscar, and I'm actually really happy they got a lot with this film, because I feel like it's not as kind of praised. I mean, I know not every movie can get praised to the high heavens, and especially when Coppola's kind of like one of the kind of bad boys of Hollywood, along with like George Lucas, because they just don't play by the rules, man. They just like go for it, and they think about everything else afterwards, especially when it came to like Apocalypse Now. But with this movie, it was more because in the documentary, on this version that I have, which is kind of like a special release by like Sony Entertainment, they have like a whole series of these kind of white cases that have come out. But with this one, it comes with like a documentary just about the making of the film, which is amazing, because I like it when they obviously document the movie to like be shown later on. You know, there were lots of struggles of just getting everything right, and Coppola's such like a perfectionist, and you see him and Geraldman like clashing heads, you know, like with certain scenes, and you know, moments where they just look like they're about to kill each other because they just don't understand what each other want. And one thing I really like about in this movie as well, when there's just so much kind of reminiscent to the book, because I feel that, because in the documentary, Coppola was like, you know, I said to the cast, if there's anything in the book that you want me to put in the film, obviously that would mean that you would be in the film a lot more. A lot of them went away and did that, so I can't remember what essentially was added, but I feel like pretty much the whole like just every scene with all the actors were just like, yeah, I want to be in this bit, I want to be more in this bit. But yeah, the movie itself just for me is a staple of great horror. I think everything kind of leading towards the end, like, you know, like spoilers if you haven't seen it. I mean, if you've seen any Dracula movie, you kind of know what happens towards the end. But just like that kind of showdown back at Transylvania is just amazing. The kind of colours, and you know, like I said, Coppola always has an amazing detail to just like films in general. Obviously there's been like some shit movies that he's made, but when it comes to like amazing visuals, these movies are like up there. And just that whole scene, the whole like kind of showdown at the end, so I'm just trying to find some nice brushes, it's just it breaks my heart, because I mean, Dracula is such a hated character when he just wants to be loved. I know it's the whole quote from Forgetting Sarah Marshall, when he has I know I've gone off trail, but he has that Dracula musical, and he's like, you know, Dracula's just misunderstood, he's actually just a guy after love and everything. And when you think about it, he really is, because he loses the love of his life by, you know, suicide, and he just went out to war for her, you know, for the country and for her, and he gets nothing back, and he, you know, seeks vengeance on, you know, those who oppose him and stuff like that, you know. But it is just really sad because obviously he has murdered hundreds of thousands of people, but you still feel sad for him. I mean, let me know in the comments if you feel that, or if you feel he's just like a cold-blooded murderer, because you know, it's an interesting concept, because obviously you really want to hate the guy and hate the character, but there's just moments when you feel that him and Mina just have this connection, which I really love. And I think it's more based around, in the movie as well, like the two actors together, just working off so well together. I'm going to go quickly with my lips, and I thought it would be relevant to use an LA Splash classic horror in the shade Dracula. Why not? Because I looked at it and I was looking through my lip collection. I was just like, I know I have a Dracula one, and I know it's like a dark purple, which is not gonna go with my eye look, but I don't care. This is it's Dracula. You know, when you think of Dracula, you think of dark purple, of course. Even though the packet's got like red on it, that's fine. I'm gonna quickly just do my lips and then I'll carry on talking. I kind of feel like I should have chosen another palette for this purple. Okay. Fantastique. Right now I look like, you know, a cyber goth. I love wearing purple lips, even though, again, purple, there's not really much relevance to Dracula when it comes to purple, but I didn't make the collection, that's fine. But yeah, the movie, right, what else can I really say about it apart from just, if you haven't seen it, please watch it. It is just, it's just a beautifully made. The music is just so, like, you just kind of, the opening music with like the violins and the orchestra, it's so fantastic. Again, the costumes, you know, most of the actors are really good. You know, I'm not going to be too harsh, but yeah, everyone is pretty amazing. It's just a movie. I don't find any faults in this movie. I don't know if that's quite controversial to say that about any film, but no matter how many times I watch this film, it stays with me, and it always will stay with me. And I really wish I could show you guys my poster, because the poster is like my favorite poster of all time. It's quite iconic. I remember when it came out when I was really young, especially in 1992. Just the gargoyle with like the fangs, it's my favorite poster of all time. And this is definitely my favorite Dracula adaptation of all time. I mean, I really love the Bela Lugosi one, but for me, this one I feel is a bit more modernized, and just, I love it. I don't know what else I can really say about it apart from let me know if you like it in the comments below, because again, like I said, it's such a hit and miss movie with a lot of people. But yeah, let me know if you like it, if you don't like it, if you've never seen it before, if you've never read the book. Please check out the book. It's all in like journal form, which I think is a fantastic idea. So thank you, Bram Stoker, all those years ago, for creating this amazing story. But yeah, that is the end of my Makeup and Movie Monday. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode, whatever you want to call it. I'll be back next Monday with another Makeup Movie Monday, but I'm always uploading throughout the week. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do that, because like I said, I upload videos every time I get a chance to. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye guys.